Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of What's on My Desk. Today I'm doing something, I guess, a bit different. I brought out nothing but ladies' pieces. And people have been complaining, saying, listen, Roman, you kind of tend to be one-sided. You tend to show a lot of men's watches, not a whole lot of ladies' watches. So today I decided to do it in a big way. And what better way to do it than to bring out my favorite brand and show you what's hot today. Now, notice I brought, 10 watches out today? So obviously I'm not going to get into a lot of details on a whole lot of them. I'm just going to tell you about what's hot today from Ladies AP. And I really shouldn't say what's hot from ladies' APs. I should really say what is so hot in ladies' pieces today, because right now on this table, you're looking at probably the hottest ladies' watches out there. Because AP is, again, it's up there in the top 3 brands that are selling today. And the Reuleaux and the Reuleaux Offshore Collection from Audemars Piguet is some of the hottest, latest, and greatest on the market today. This is what everybody wants. This is why I have a bunch of this stuff in stock, because this is the stuff that sells, and it sells quick and well. I'm going to turn these around and show you quickly what I brought. On the left tray, I have the offshores. And again, the latest offshores out there. This is the stainless steel pieces in the variety of colors that they come in. We have the pink, we have the purple, and we have the dark blue. And this is actually an oldie, but it doesn't look much different. But this is an old limited edition from AP. It's called the Don Ramon de la Cruz. It was a limited edition of 500 pieces that they made about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even more. And on the right tray, I have a bunch of Reuleaux. I have a plain rose gold. I brought the frosted golds, which in rose and white, as well as some plain yellow gold Reuleaux and a diamond bezel rose gold Reuleaux. And last but not least, the watch that stands out sort of like a sore thumb in this tray is the Tuxedo, another limited edition that was made a while back, and it's much bigger than the other two in terms of size. It's even bigger than the offshores, believe it or not. First, I'm going to show you some variations. I mentioned earlier the new lineup from the ladies' offshores. This is not all of them. They make them in other different colors, and I'll try to pop that up on the screen for you. But the ones that I have here are the purple, blue, and the pink. And again, not a whole lot of difference, with the exception of how they dress them up in different colors. It is a 38 millimeter watch. It's slightly thicker than the Reuleaux. And let me now just pop in an older piece. My wife actually has one of these. This is one of the watches that she wears. Note that there's no difference between the new and the old. And why? Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've said this before. Now let's talk about resale value on these pieces. Now, these colorful pieces, the allocation to dealers, in fact, dealers that only have boutiques in their store, is so slim that these watches, they trade at damn near retail value. $29,300 retail. Again, don't know what the 300 is for. What do they sell for? $27,000 to $28,000. Why? Because you cannot get them. They're popular. Everybody wants them. It's a supply and demand thing, much like with any hot brand out there, like Rolex or Richard Mille. The Don Ramon de la Cruz, as I mentioned, a watch that my wife has in her collection. Original retail value in rose gold was $54,600. What do these trade for? They're still trading in high 30s to $40,000 pre-owned. And you would think, wow, that's not bad for holding its value for a ladies' piece, which tend not to hold value most of the time. Why? Well, it's a limited edition. They made 500 of them. They're not making any more, and ladies don't tend to sell their watches. So for girls out there that want to get out there and buy something for themselves that nobody else will have, and girls like that, especially when it comes to clothing, I know so. My wife says it all the time. Oh no, I can't buy that dress. What's her name has it, This is probably the perfect watch. There's a slew of ladies limited editions out there. Probably my favorite one would be the stainless steel Alinghi. My wife has that one. This is one of my favorites because I love the rose gold with the chocolate dial and the chocolate buttons and bezel and strap to match. It's just a striking look overall for this particular watch. My wife also owns the Carbon Ladies Offshore. It's a mean all black diamond bezel looking watch. It's not a limited edition, but it's no longer produced, so that watch has shot up in value somewhere. And again, there's a slew of different limited editions out there for ladies, like the Lady Cat, and there's a couple of versions of those, and so on and so forth. I'll try to throw up a few of them on the screen so you kind of get an idea. There is quite a few of them out there because when the limited edition hype for AP was happening, they were producing ladies' watches just the same as they were producing men's. Now let's scale this down a step and let's go to the Reuleaux Collection. I'm going to pick up a plain 33 millimeter Reuleaux, which is the smallest one they make right now, and I'm going to put it side by side with one of the offshores. Outside of the diameter of the watch, obviously this being a 38 millimeter, this being a 33, the obvious difference is also the thickness of the watch. This is how thick. I guess at this angle you can sort of see that the offshore is probably twice the thickness of the Reuleaux. Today, Reuleaux come in two basic sizes. You have your 33 millimeter and you have your 37 millimeter. And I'm showing you now the yellow gold and 37 millimeter with white dial versus the 33 millimeter rose gold with the black dial. And again, significant size difference. You would think that, you know, there's not a whole lot of a difference. 40 millimeters is not that much, but when you look at it in a watch, it does make a huge difference. And again, these watches come in a slew of different variations, different dials, different golds, diamond bezels, no diamond bezels, automatic movements, quartz movements, and the price fluctuates depending on what's in there. The difference between quartz and automatic is usually $2,000 to $3,000. The difference between the golds is like anyone else. Your yellow gold is the least expensive, followed by rose gold, and then followed by white gold. Now let me show you what the hottest things, and all these things are hot, so it's very difficult to say which is hotter than the other one, but the 37 millimeter with the diamond bezel is probably one of the better sellers today because it's not as plain, it's nicely dressed up, yet it's still somewhat conservative, and it's still very sporty without it being a true diamond or a jewelry piece. So this is probably going to be selling for you number one. You guys heard the hype about the frosted gold. Audemars Piguet did this finish on their watches and they called it frosted gold. These pieces are selling like hotcakes as well. And you can see the camera is picking up that finish. And I mean, honestly, if somebody brought this to me and I didn't see the commercials or I didn't see the ads for the frosted gold as they dubbed it, I would call this sandblasted because it does sort of have that sandblasted feel. When you touch the watch, it's the same. You feel sort of a sandblasted finish. But overall, it makes for a striking look. You take this watch out into the sunlight outside, and this watch shines as if it's fully covered with diamonds. A beautiful job by AP with this frosted gold. And let me show you the white gold version. Sorry, this guy's a little wrapped up, but you'll get the idea. Again, in a white gold, completely different look. Even here with the lights in my office, you can sort of see that glimmer, that shine that the frosted finish gives off. I actually personally like the white gold combination best just because of the matching silver dial. It's just a beautiful look overall. And these guys also come in 37 and 33 millimeters. Let's talk about values. And again, I'm not gonna pretend like I remember this off the top of my head, but let's see. Yellow gold plain Jane retails for $44,200. Rose gold with a diamond bezel, $48,800. Frosted gold, your rose gold retails for $41,500, and your white gold retails for $48,800. See the big difference between white and rose? AP is actually one of those companies that makes their white gold watches retail for a heck of a lot more than their rose gold. Usually, most companies is going to be within that, 3-4%. These guys really do jack up the prices on their white gold. Why, I have no idea. Let's see, the plain Jane 33mm is rose gold is going to be the cheapest one of the bunch. This thing retails for $33,400. And note, I'm not telling you what these things are selling for, and the reason for that is because every single one of them, you'd be hard-pressed to get 20 to 25% off retail on any one of these pieces brand new. And on the resale end, even if you buy this watch and you decide not to keep it and you want to resell it, you're not losing a whole lot. Pre-owned pieces are trading at about 30 to 35% off retail. So you're losing sort of that 5 to 10 points off the retail when you go to resell these pieces. Unless, come next year and they raise their retail prices by another 7-8% as they normally do, you sort of tend to recoup that loss in APs. Why? Because AP is still the hottest selling brand. And even though I've discussed before that ladies' pieces don't resell as much as men's pieces do, because there's not as big of a market for them out there, girls don't tend to resell their stuff, they still hold their value. The Audemars Piguet Reuleaux Collection, whether it's men's or ladies, is the Rolex Submariner. It's not quite the Rolex Daytona unless you're talking about limited pieces like Schumachers and Lebrons, but nevertheless, they do hold their value, and they hold their value well over time. I left this piece out purposely because this is actually not a ladies' watch. This is actually a men's watch. This is the 41mm Reuleaux Tuxedo, and it's actually the first time, and this is done pre the current 41mm Reuleaux collections like the 15400s and the chronographs for men. This was actually probably the first 41mm Reuleaux that they came out with prior to all the other ones. At the time this came out, you still had the 15300s in plain, and you still had the 39mm chrono Reuleaux. This is the guy that they came out with in 41mm, and why? Because they did it as a his and hers. This is known as the Tuxedo, and this is the his in 41mm, and the hers was actually in a 37mm. But I added this to the collection of the ladies' pieces because I got to be honest with you, I have never sold the 41mm Tuxedo to a guy. Every time we've sold one of these, it went to a lady. Ladies love bigger watches. When this came out, that trend was just starting to get really, really hot. I would show them the 37mm and the 41mm, and they'd be like, no, I want the 41mm. So in reality, this is actually a men's watch, but it's only, again, at least in my experience, sold to ladies. And this is a beautifully executed piece, and what I love most about it is I love the black onyx dial that reflects everything. I love the diamond markers. I love the diamond hands. This is an automatic movement, a beautifully decorated one at that. Love the strap. They sort of did this, I guess it's patent leather that sort of matches the dial. And the overall look, if I didn't tell you this is called a tuxedo, you would probably say, wow, this is something you would wear with a tux. And it's a very, very dressy watch. And again, I can see myself putting on a tuxedo and putting this watch on along with a pair of lacquer shoes. Retail, $83,300, am I right? I was wrong, $83,500. The cheapest I've ever sold this watch pre-owned was about $48,000. For a brand new one, again, expect to pay 25 to 30% off retail, maybe even 35% off retail. And the reason for that is because the retail is quite hefty on this timepiece. So again, the higher the retail, the more watches discounted. I've said that before. So just to recap, ladies, if you're out there looking for the latest and the greatest, this is it. At least from Audemars Piguet, but overall still some of the hottest watches in the market across all brands today. The Reuleaux or the Reuleaux Offshore for the ladies is the watch to have today. And guys, if you're looking to buy someone a present, definitely something from this collection will put a watch on your lady's wrist that is going to be hot, that's going to be it. And it's also going to hold its value a lot better than some of the other latest pieces that are out there. I'm going to pick one watch from the Offshores as well as the Reuleaux. And my pick from the Offshores is going to be, again, I already told you my wife has this one, so my pick from the other three is going to be the new Offshore in blue. I think it's a beautiful sporty watch. Goes great with a pair of jeans or anything else for that matter. And if I'm going to go with the Reuleaux, it's a tough decision for me between the frosted and white gold and the tuxedo. I probably would still go with the frosted in white gold, and the reason for that is because this is the latest and the greatest, and this watch has been around for quite a while, even though it's like next to impossible to find. Last but not least, as usual, I'm going to show you what's on my wrist, and today I'm wearing, again, another more or less oldie but a goodie. Again, after the Barrichello, probably my favorite limited edition from AP, and it's the AP Survivor. Just a mean, rugged looking watch. The name says it all. If you look at the watch, it looks like, kind of looks like one of those survival knives if you ask me, but it definitely got the Survivor feel about it. It's a great vibe. It's comfortable to wear. I love the way they executed the crown pusher protectors. I'm going to wear this guy around for a little bit and see if I can survive the harsh winters of Philadelphia. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode and a little insight of the latest and the greatest from AP for ladies. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time for more watch reviews and other videos.